G'day everyone, welcome to another episode of Shucking About. I'm Cam Shuck, and today we're going to do a long-term review of the Mitsubishi Triton MV. We've had this Triton for 18 months and approximately 23,000 Ks on the clock, and we've used it for caravanning around regional New South Wales, along the coast. We've also camped out of it and just used it for a daily commute and city runabout. So it's had a whole mix of things, so we'll talk you through what things we love, what things we don't like, and would we buy it again? Don't know, you'll see. So for us, we haven't modified the Triton too much, so we've still got stock standard tyres on it. They're the all-terrain tyres that they come with, or all-terrain in inverted commas. They're definitely highway terrain style tyres. And then, yeah, we don't have any suspension or lift or anything in the car. So I'll talk you through the mods later, but nice and stock to show you an example of how it is driving on the beach. So let's start with the interior. So here in the Triton, it's nice and modern interior. So one of the things we love is just how sleek and modern it is. You got a nice Android Auto screen there, nice easy to read dash with traditional dials. The space in here is great. So we've got plenty of space in the back for our two young kids, plenty of leg room. I can sit behind myself and I'm 6'2". So that was one of our biggest worries about getting a ute, but plenty of leg room in the cabin. Seats are super comfortable, so they're nice and they're the fake leather, but that's what we got on our GLS, and so that comes with the heated seats as well. So there's a little button here to push the heated seats. One of the things we really love is just the fact that there's buttons. So to turn the aircon on, there's physical buttons down here, and so you can dial all those to adjust it all. It's dual climate control, and you've just got buttons and levers to be able to control it all. Some of the other utes and our Ford Everest we had before this, you had to go through a touch panel, and it was just super annoying. And even simple things like a volume dial, who would have thought about the Triton's got it on there. They've listened to the reviews on the others. So they're the things we love inside. The other main thing we love is that you can have it in 4 high, so all-wheel drive on the bitumen. So this is one of the things that most of the other utes that we looked at didn't have. So the BT50, D-Max, even some of the lower models of the Ranger didn't have the ability to drive in all-wheel drive on the bitumen. Now that's a game changer in the wet, especially we live here in Newcastle. It gets super greasy on the roads. In rear-wheel drive, I test drove BT50 in the wet, and it was super taily. So did the same thing in the Triton, had it in 2-wheel drive, and yep, it was taily too. But then as soon as we put it in 4 high, it actually had more grip than our Everest did. So we had a nice steep hill off camber that we tested the grip on, and it spun the wheels, or it didn't spin the wheels versus the Everest did. So very happy with that. That was one of the key things we love about this Triton. You've got dual charging ports, and yeah, you've got a rear diff locker as standard as well. So very capable 4-wheel drive. One of the other things I didn't know we like or need. So you got the glove box down here. You just got this extra glove box compartment up here. So we keep our air booster, our tyre deflators, mints, all those sort of things in there. All right, now we'll step you through the things we don't like. One of the things I forgot to mention that we love is actually how quiet it is in the cabin of the Triton. So the Ford Everest we had before this had the noise cancelling feature as part of it, and to be honest, I can't tell the difference between this and the Everest. Both of them were nice and quiet, or are nice and quiet. The BT50 had a fair bit of engine noise, as well as road noise and air noise when it was up above 90 or or so kilometers an hour. So I was a little bit disappointed with the BT50 when I test drove that with a mate's car. But this Triton is very nice and quiet in the cabin, and means we can have a conversation with the kids in the back and not have to be yelling. We did have a Mitsubishi Challenger in the past, and that was one of the things that we didn't like about it. It was so noisy inside the cabin, but Mitsubishi have fixed that over the years. So hats off. All right, we'll move on to the things we don't like. So the main one is the start-stop feature. So diesel engines just shouldn't have start-stop on it. I know they do it for all the emission stuff, but it just rattles the whole car when it stops, and then there's a big delay when it starts up again. So it's borderline dangerous, the start-stop system on this Triton. And so there's a button down here you have to push every time you get in or out of the car. Sorry, you turn off or on the car. You have to push that button to disable the start-stop feature. What we've learnt on the Facebook group, there's a bunch of very smart people on the Facebook group, is that there's apparently under the bonnet, there's a bonnet trigger switch, and if that switch happens to get undone, then the start-stop feature doesn't work on the Triton. So that's what some people have done as a solution. Otherwise you just get into the habit of pushing the button each time. But yeah, we've had a close call at a roundabout where I went to take off, but the engine took a while to start, and so since then I've just turned it off each time. And the second one is this little guy on the dash. So this is the driver monitoring system. So it looks at your eyes and your face, and it'll pick up whether you're picking your nose, touching your ears. If you're wearing dark sunnies and it can't see your eyes, it'll flag saying, hey, the camera's blocked, can't see it, and then you have to go in through 2 layers of settings to disable it, which is quite annoying. And the other thing is it picks up when you're tired. So we've got 2 young kids, so we're tired all the time, and it has a thing saying that yeah, drowsiness detected. So and that's after I've had at my peak alertness after a coffee. So what we do is just disable that system each time we get in the car. Unfortunately, you have to do that each time. Also on the Facebook group, there's some smart people have figured out that there's a plug you can unplug down near the accelerator cable, that if that happens to fall out, then the driver monitoring system no longer works. But again, it's all part of the ANCAP safety rating that's needed for vehicles these days. So just play the game, but have to turn it off whenever I'm wearing my dark sunnies. So they're the 2 main things I don't like on the inside here of the Triton, and both of them are, to be honest, a bit borderline dangerous. So to turn off the driver monitoring system, you don't know that your sunnies are too dark until you're going about 40 k's an hour. So you're driving along, then you have to figure out that you have to disable the system, looking down to change through the settings. That's not ideal. So that's something that they should fix. I know Subarus, if they see that they can't detect your face, it just turns off the system itself. Maybe Mitsubishi should look at doing something similar. The only other thing in here that I don't really like is the wireless charger down here. So it's super slow and your phone gets super hot. So we just plug our phones in, and then there's no wireless Android Auto. It's only wireless Apple CarPlay on here. I'm an Android person, but that's not a showstopper. We just plug our phones in anyway. So it would be nice to see a better charger, wireless charger. But other than that, the seats are comfy, interior is great. We'll move on to the outside. All right, so the exterior, things we love the look of it. How good does this Triton look? To me, I reckon it's one of the best looking utes out there. They've done a great job with the styling on this. So one of the, I guess the key things we like out here is they've actually moved the rear axle rearward on this model of the Triton. So the MV Triton, they've moved the rear axle to the rear, which has increased and they've also increased the weight carrying capacity of it as well. So the load rating for the rear axle has gone up. I'll put the specs on the screen considerably to be a class leader in the ute, this sort of style ute segment. So that's awesome. It also means that there's less of a lever arm for towing, which has been really good for us for caravan. So it also means there's more space in the back seats for the kids. So We've got the car seats in there, but it doesn't cut in like the previous model Triton did. So that's awesome. We love what's under the bonnet. So it's got the 2.4 litre. They've now whacked an extra turbo on it, so it's bi-turbo now. So plenty of power pulling our 2.5 ton caravan, and for day-to-day driving, there's no real throttle lag that I could detect compared to Everest and other things I've driven. So very impressed with that. Then the fuel economy is bloody amazing. So it's getting about 6 to 8 litres per 100 Ks, and that's with roof racks, bull bar, all the bike racks on. We've got recovery tracks on the back. So it's not in stock form from an aerodynamic perspective, but it gets really good fuel consumption. So yeah, around 6 to 6.5 litres per 100 Ks on my daily commute, about 25 Ks. And then around town, we're getting a combined about 8 litres per 100 Ks on average. And then towing with the van, we're getting 13 litres per 100 Ks. That's just amazing, towing a 2-ton caravan. And that's going coastal over all the mountains and dips and things. And maintaining the 100 k an hour speed limit. So very impressive. So that's exterior of our Triton. In terms of things we don't like, the rear suspension. So we've got the GLS model, and so it's only got 3 leafs. The lower models actually have an extra leaf in there, but I believe they're still pretty similar in terms of behaviour. So it's pretty porpoisey and wallowy in the rear. So the shocks need some changing. So we're probably looking at putting in some adjustable shocks in there, especially because we do some towing. So I haven't found it sags much at all in the rear when we put our caravan on, and we've got about a 240 kilo ball weight. But certainly when you hit a bump with the caravan on, it takes a while to settle. So we'll definitely be looking at suspension in the future, but that's one of the things I don't like. It's not unusable, but it's definitely designed for around town, for a bit softer. And there's been some really good results for people that have done it done a suspension on the Triton. So that's on our list for buy. Other than that, I don't think there's any other things I don't like about the exterior side of the Triton. So it's it's plenty capable off-road. We've been on the beach on Redhead, on Stockton Beach here in New South Wales, and very capable vehicle. So I don't think it will exceed my skills. That's for sure. Sorry, it certainly exceeds my skills. So definitely don't need any. There's no dramas with that. Okay, I'll move on to what mods we've done to the car. So as I mentioned, we've still got the stock tyres on there, but we've put a Ironman Raid bull bar on the front. So it's a hoopless bar, and I really like the look of it. It doesn't stick out too far, and it's got all the bash plates underneath, and then you've got the space for a winch as well, but plenty of airflow to get in through the front of the car, which was one of my main concerns. And it still works with a 360-degree camera, your side detection for blind spot, for the front monitoring as you come out of driveways and that sort of thing. Still got your radar for your adaptive cruise control at the front here, and then some fog lights in there. So we really like the Ironman bull bar. And then what else we've done, we've put the HSP roller cover on the top. So we've got the electric roller cover, and then mounted on that are these 2 load bars. So we'll do a proper review of the bike racks and the roller cover and everything in a future video, but I really like that. It's waterproof. And one of the other things I liked is the tailgate soft open is from standard. So that's stock. One of the things I didn't like was the aftermarket accessory of this dust protection. There's a massive gap here, so I've had to put in some extra padding and things to make that work. So it's just an oversight from Mitsubishi. I don't know if they fitted the wrong one. They assured me it was the right one, but it's not waterproof or dustproof unless you fix that extra little bit. But now our tub's fully waterproof and dustproof, and then so it helps you with the lifting up as well. Do it one-handed. so that's pretty awesome. We've done the ceramic window tinting, so I think that looks nice. It's going to protect us from UV and extra heat infrared going in there as well. So we got that done at Alta Pack. That was really good. We've got some Pro Rack, the same as Yakima roof racks on the top. They don't make any wind noise at all, which is great. And then the main reason we ended up changing to a ute is so we can put the bikes on the back without having to put them on the roof. So we're going to have 4 mountain bikes up here, and they're too hard to get on the roof of the Everest. So it was my wife's idea to go, let's look at a ute, and now she can reach to put the kids and her bike on the back. So it doesn't need to be waiting till her whole family together to go bike riding. We can each take it when we need to. What else did we do? We got tow bar fitted. So that came with a 12-pin plug. The best thing about that is the 12-pin plug's got a sensor in there that detects when it's got something plugged in, and it disables the rear parking sensors and the rear emergency brake. Now that is a game changer. The Everest used to beep at us non-stop whenever you put it in reverse and you have to turn off the sensors each time you started the car. Well, this one, it automatically registers that you've got something plugged in, so you don't necessarily care about what's behind you because you've deliberately plugged something in. So that's an excellent feature. And then we've done some aftermarket power here for the caravan, so 2 Anderson plugs in there full of sand. And what else? I think that's pretty much it that we got done for the optional extras. And we did the premium package for which is just leather interior for the car, which is really good value. So overall, very impressed with the Triton. In terms of ownership, so we've had it for 18 months and 23,000 Ks. The only problems we've had is we'll probably, I'll show you the crease in the leather here. So we flagged that one with Mitsubishi, so it's not wearing the best, but that's covered by the 10-year warranty. So you can't complain with a 10-year warranty on a vehicle like this. They're really putting their money where their mouth is. The only other issue we had was an engine light, which is not good. So it was a camshaft and crankshaft misalignment code, but in the end Mitsubishi got their master mechanic and everyone onto it, and they couldn't replicate the fault. No issues found. They checked all the timing. They were really thorough, which is another reason I really like Mitsubishi. We found a really good dealer down the Central Coast, and yeah, they did a thorough job. The problem hasn't come back. So we had a Mitsubishi Challenger for about 4 years, and that never skipped a beat. So we're really impressed with Mitsubishi's reliability, and we had a bunch of dramas with our Ford Everest, so spent a lot of time off the road. They did fix all the things under warranty, but gosh, it was yeah, starting to worry us on a bigger trip. So we bought this to tow our caravan, to have our bikes on the roof, on the tray, carry all our gear with us, not worry about any weights. So we've got a ton of payload here, and a really good rear axle loading as well. So we'll be under all our weights. I'm an engineer by trade, and so I'm into all the making sure we're legal and compliant. So I've done all the maths on our weights, get our caravan and set up weighed regularly, and so very happy with how the Triton's going to tow our van for us and stay legal. Alrighty, so would I buy it again? 100% yes. So I think the mix of the reliability, the all-wheel drive on bitumen, so being able to drive in the rain with all-wheel drive, and 10-year warranty and Mitsubishi reliability, there's some of the key things that we really like about the Triton. So I would 100% buy it over the BT50 D-Max Ranger any day. And we've driven each of those vehicles, and this one was really nice to drive. Has all the features we need, and will tow our caravan, do everything we need to do lifestyle wise. Not to mention it's the cheapest out of the bunch, so you got plenty of extra cash there for future mods. So I would buy that one again. Next steps for us, we'll probably do a couple of modifications before we do a 3-month trip next year. towing the caravan, so we'll get some nice all-terrain tyres on it. We'll probably go the Falcon Wild Pigs, go up a size. We'll probably put some rear shocks in it just to get rid of that porpoising, and then I think it's ready for a touring vehicle. So I'll step you through in a future video our roller shutter and bike setup, because we're really impressed with that. Otherwise, we're really enjoying the Triton, and as you can see, it's super easy to get onto the beach and off the beach, so it suits our lifestyle. Alrighty, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and I'll throw a few more videos out there. I can do a detailed review on the Ironman bull bar as well, and then we'll see you next time. Thanks everyone.